This is my little sister Kayla. Say hi to everybody. Hi guys, welcome to Hedgehog's Homestead. My name is Laura, and today we are going to be making some jam. And we're going to be following the recipe out of the Ball Can book. I've never made this jam before. I have made jam in the past, so it should be pretty simple and forward. There's only three ingredients considering the canning gel that you use. This stuff. So it just requires one of these liquid packages of that. So we're going to get to it. I mean, I've already done the measuring. I'm making a raspberry jam today. Tomorrow I'll probably be making a marionberry blueberry jam. And then the day after that, and I'll put these out, one this week, one next week, and the following week. So you won't get sick of my jam videos. Hopefully, right? So today it's raspberry jam, my absolutely favorite jam. So I cleaned these guys off, and it said 2 cups of regular raspberries with their seeds in, and then 2 cups of crushed raspberries. And I didn't bother crushing my raspberries because when I went out to go pick these, half of them got crushed already as well. I will be bringing I might go picking again because I made a recipe of like a raspberry marionberry blueberry dessert with this, and I'm lucky I have enough left for this jam. So we have a total of 4 cups. Half of them are crushed. We're going to put that in our pot. Yummy fresh raspberries. And then for the shocking part, 6.5 cups of granulated sugar. I'm going to cut that down by at least a cup. So we will do 5.5 cups of granulated sugar. I just like to use, if I can save just a tad bit, we'll do a tad bit. So here we go. Or maybe I'll just not round them up. 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm doing 5.5, guys. So the recipe does call, check it out in the Ball book. You guys want to follow it the way the Ball book goes. 6.5 cups, okay? Do as I say, not as I do. I'm just trying to save myself some sugar intake here. So now I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it up to a boil. And then once it's sat at a boil, for what we're looking for is for it to stick to the back of a spoon. And I'll walk you guys through all that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to bring you guys over to my stove. It's a little bit messy, so sorry about that, but didn't think I was going to do that today. But check out my zinnias, guys. These are little zinnias I planted from seed, and now they're having some nice little heads on them. So you got to cut those zinnias back so that they give you more heads. So I went ahead and did that. So let's get over to the stove. Sorry, rabbit trail, beep. Anyways, so let's get over to the stove and start on our jam. Oh, I'd like you to also know, In my dishwasher, I have my jars getting nice and clean, and they'll get warm at the same time. And I also have on my countertop, this is a Ball Fresh canner, and I love this canner because I can set it next to the sink. So if I have too much water, it's got a little release valve in there. And so it just makes canning so much easier. They're hard to find now, but I absolutely love this thing. So let's get to the canning part. Okay. Turn our oven on. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see that. I have my nice little there's absolutely no liquid you add to this, so you can see it melting down already. Oh, a little sprig I didn't get. I'm not going to stir it too much because I do not want this to break down the, I want little chunky chunks in there. So. Oh, I'm dripping on the thread, and it's not keeping to a boil. That's not an actual boil. So I want to start my timer again when it gets to that point. I can always watch the clock on the stove. Okay, that's an actual boil. So Sarah, give me 1 minute on my timer.
Okay, 1 minute and counting.
See how it's staying boiling? Okay, and then as soon as my timer goes off, we are going to add our clear gel. So I'm going to open that up. And you always want to have scissors to cut open your clear gel. Then once I get my clear gel back in here, I'm going to bring it back up to this boil and stir it for 10 minutes. Okay, there's my minute timer. Putting in our clear gel pectin. It says real fruit liquid pectin on the case. Okay, we're going to stop. Siri, give me 10 minutes on my timer.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
The boil didn't come down, so that's why I went ahead and started with my 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys can see this. And I'm just gently stirring it. That is delicious. My house, my jam, I can lick the spoon. Right, guys? We know we all do it. If I give this away, it would just go to family anyway, so. I'm going to turn it down just a tad because it's getting a little, I don't want it to start spitting at me. I turned it down just below medium. My canner is ready for me, and my jars are ready for me. They're done in my dishwasher. Siri, show me my timer. Just 4 minutes to go. Okay guys, my timer is about to go off. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat. And since I have a gas stove, I don't have to remove it from the heat because the heat is truly off. If I had an electric stove, I would move it off that burner, okay? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bowl, and all this foam that's here on top, I'm going to try to scrape that out. It's not going to be perfect. Doesn't have to be. This is homemade jelly, okay? I actually like the taste of the foam, but just for aesthetics, actually have a jar here that I can use. And so I'm just going to lightly scrape off of the stuff on top. Now I stopped it a little bit early because I noticed it was already sticking to the back of my spoon really well. And that's really the true indication of when your stuff is done. But I recommend, if you're doing canning for the first time, follow the recipe to the T until you get a feel for it. Jam is pretty easy though. It's really hard to mess it up. Okay. Lots of little kids like to eat the gel because it is super tasty. Okay. So there we go. Our little foam that was on the top. Okay, now for the part we kind of need to move quickly for. This little spatula is perfect for this. Have your canning ingredients out, your little funnel, your little grabbers, and grab those jars, guys. I grab like 3 at a time. And we put our funnel over here, and then we just start pouring it in. Now you want to leave 1/4 of an inch of headspace. I've got my lids and my cans right here. My lids and those are washed already. You don't have to heat them up anymore like you used to. Now these are bigger jars than you might want to use, but we really like raspberry jam, so I'm doing the big jars. Okay. That's where you want your head space. Looks like 1/4 of an inch. I'll measure it with let me get out my little measurer. Probably only going to have 4 jars of this. Uh-oh. I don't know where my husband put it. He helps me out with the dishes. He doesn't put my canning stuff back. Okay, so basically that's your top rim right here. All canning stuff comes with this stuff out with some vinegar water. I just use what I have in the cupboard. To really get the stickiness. You don't want the stickiness to break your seal there. Okay. And then put on my lid, my nice clean lid. Now this is very hot, guys. I have tough fingers because all the gardening I do and stuff. You just want it finger tight on that, and then you put it in your canner. So if you buy a canning kit, it will have a little measuring thing in there and a debubbler. But after you've been canning for a long time, you can a lot of stuff, you get the idea of what the inch of headspace looks on your jar. So if I could find it for you, I would show you. Just a little bit more. Okay. I might not even have 3 jars. Let me see. If you don't have 3 jars, what you can do have a little jar though over here I may be able to use. That's clean. It's just not warm. Okay. It's hard to tell if the jar is clean because my fingers are a little sticky. So I'm making extra sure. Okay, lid on, finger tight, and then in our canner. And you want it covered with 2 inches of water. I have a little more than that, so I'm going to let some out. Oops. It's a nice thing about this ball canner. Okay, I'll leave it there. Okay, and I think I have this jar over here. I'm just going to fill this. Let me see. No, I think I have enough for this one. Okay, ooh, that's still hot. Oh, I love the smell of that. Let's hope I have enough. If not, I won't can it in the canner. I will just put it in my fridge and we will use it. Okay. All right, you guys, it looks like we have one that we're just going to put in the fridge. And that's okay. That just means I get to enjoy it. You know what that means, really, is that it's time for me to make some bread. So we can enjoy our jam. Yes, I do make bread as well. So I'm not even going to bother with a canning lid on there. Why would I put a canning lid on there? Okay. There we go. So we have, just going to let it cool down here. It's a full jar, but so that's it, guys. Now we are going to let a little bit of water out here. Only got 2 jars in there, and that's okay. And we're gonna can it for 10 minutes. So that's it. So as soon as that gets up to a boil, we're gonna put a timer on for 10 minutes. As soon as this comes to a boil, we will take it out, or we'll start our timer, and then take it out after 10 minutes. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. A boil is just like a rolling boil, by the way. We'll see you back in 10 minutes. Pull out that jam. This one is, it didn't get filled enough, so we didn't can that one. So we'll just know that this one's not sealed, and this will go in the fridge, but it has to cool down before it goes in the fridge. You don't put a hot thing like this. I mean, it's warm, pretty darn warm yet. So gotta wait for it to cool down. Oops, looks like my canning stuff is falling apart on me. Okay, now I don't recommend doing this without these lovely tongs, even though mine are broken right now. Well, we'll just not use that part. Okay. Okay, we're taking them out of the canner, and we are not tilting them or turning them to the side. We're keeping them straight and upright. And then we'll just put them there. We'll let them cool overnight, and we'll just dab the water off the top. You don't turn it to the side, you know, if the jar can break that way, especially in a pressure canner. Not as likely in this kind of canner, but in a pressure canner for sure. Okay. Now we are just going to wait for that magic pop on those, and there's the first one. And 2 jars of jam, and it's that easy, guys. Don't be afraid to do this. Visit your local farm and go ahead and pick those berries yourself, and it's a lot of fun to do with family and especially with kids. If you're looking for something to do with your kids, this is a great way to introduce yourself into canning with jam, because it's pretty darn simple. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start on my second canning, but I'm going to end this video here and say thank you for coming along with me today. Please like and subscribe, and as always, God bless you guys for coming along with me. Bye.